best that this industry has ever given us.
Well, hello, Ken. How are you feeling?
And I mean it.
It's flattering.
When people talk about the best artists in comics, you are always in people's top 10. And yet, when I see you listed in a comic book convention, there it says Mike Kaluta, Artist of the Shadow.
I drew the Shadow yesterday. I'm still, that guy, he and I have got a great relationship going.
Every Art of Mike Kaluta book has the Shadow in it.
Yes.
It's part of your career.
Yes, it is part of my career, of course. I was a well-renowned cover artist for DC Comics. So because of that work, I've been able to hang out with a whole new gang of younger artists.
Well, they must think it's great to hang out with you.
You know, it's funny.
They grew up on your work.
I'm a resource. Bernie Wrightson, that is, Barry Windsor Smith, Jeff Jones, etc. When we visit Hollywood and we go through one or another of the studios, and all the fellows are there working on their stuff, they go, "Oh, I love your work so much. Look at my shelf." And there on their bookshelf is every one of my books, every one of Jeff's books, every one of Bernie's books. Yet the director never calls Bernie or myself.
Yeah.
They just go to the kids and say, "Look, make it look like he did it."
Comics.
You've been here all day, slaving away?
Yes, since actually we got here a little bit early, 9 o'clock, and then we've been here setting up since.
Is it fun?
Actually, yeah, it's probably some of the best, work you can do because you're around fans. It's stuff you enjoy doing. Meet all the artists, all the new up-and-coming stuff. So it's a great job. And I'm a huge fan of Jim Lee, and he's here today, and I've been reading him since he was on X-Men on Marvel.
And right now, Comic Connections presents Mike Oeming. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about your start with the indies.
Well, really, when I wanted to get into comics, of course, like everybody else, I was just starving and just wanting so badly to get into there and just willing to do anything. I thought what I wanted to do was work for Marvel and DC on stuff like Daredevil and, get the good page rates and stuff. But I found later on, as I got older, that really I was more satisfied with create your own work. Making up your own stories and stuff.
Your vision,
Yeah. Just playing out your fantasies on paper.
Yeah. So when has that led to now?
Well, make a long story short, things just blew up. It's like once I also was good timing with my friend Brian Bendis, who at the time, before he was Spider-Man and X-Men and all this stuff, he was just another create-your-own guy. And we just happened to hook up and get our talents together, and so our book Powers became a very big independent success.
Powers you're doing for Image?
Yes.
And you have another Image book?
Yes, Hammer of the Gods, which is about Norse mythology, which is kind of I discovered as I've gotten older. That's really my love is mythology.
I'm here at the huge Motor City Comics booth with
Brian Tachi.
How long have you been with Motor City?
Full time for 3 years now. Just traveling around the country, having the time of my life doing it. So it's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of interesting people, and gets me out of the house.
Do you read these things?
Oh yeah, I've been collecting since I was 12 years old. I started off reading G.I. Joes, and from there I moved on to Captain America, and from there I went on to Daredevil, and I've been collecting Daredevil ever since. I'm more of a character-based collector rather than a creator, artist collector. I'm not I don't care who the new hot artist or writer is on this book or that book, I just like hearing or reading good stories about the characters that I like to read about.
Do customers ever ask you for recommendations?
Yeah, we get recommendations every once in a while. A lot of people that are new to the market suggest, what's something that, you sort of get a feel for what they're looking for, what type of stuff they like to read, and from there you say, okay, you're a Marvel zombie, or you're a DC clone, and you just go from there.
Well, looking through your portfolio on your table, you got my vote for Wonder Woman.
She's a hard character to draw.
What's so hard to...
I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about, but they actually have me in the licensing department possibly doing images of Wonder Woman for like the lunch boxes and thermoses. So that's a big vote of confidence from them. So.
Yeah, well, that certainly is.
Yeah.
Because, looking at your Iron Man, your Avengers, and Wolverine, you've got that dynamic storytelling style down. And then the way you draw Wonder Woman, she looks dynamic also, and I think that's one of the things that sometimes is lacking in the character.
it's a mixture of a lot of different disciplines. So.
You know, sometimes people draw like a little girl.
Right,
they have
right.
to make it all TNA, and you can draw a dynamic without the TNA.
I hope so. That's what I'm going for.
Now, who are your favorites? If you got into comics so recently, you know, what influenced you?
Well, yeah, actually, I got into comics like fairly recently, and my influences are very contemporary, so they may not mean that much to a lot of the viewers out there. But I love Travis Charest, who's like a image artist who draws very detailed work, and Jim Lee, of course. I mean, a lot of people will sneer when they hear these names, but I don't really go back that far with comics, and I've been successful just keeping it very contemporary and very current.
Not only comics, but toys and models as well, and you are.
Jerry Cacciolo, Vulcan Enterprises.
Tell us about some of these things here.
Okay, what happened is toys, for the most part, at least as far as we're concerned, are not really for children. They're collectible, they're no different than a card or a comic book. And it's more generic. Someone who may not be into like the minutiae of different books or other things may want a South Park Cartman doll, or for like our business, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. And the actors will help us with these things and they'll autograph them and made it no different.
How long have you been doing this?
Now it's about 12 years. You know, I was a comic book artist. I worked with Marvel and I worked with a lot of toy companies, and I had a bit of an accident in the car and damaged my hand, and I said I could sit in my rear or I could stay in a business I already know and love, and I've been doing it ever since.
Now, most of these are TV tie-ins and not comic book tie-ins. Has that business changed over these 12 years?
Tremendously. It used to be only comic book stuff. Or if you had no cartoon on the air, there was no such thing as a doll. For instance, for example, the Osbournes, Sharon Osbourne, they made a mistake with the first doll and actually put the voice chip where you had to press her bosom in order to make it talk. And they said, no, we'll get it, pull it back. And she said, don't you dare.
Louis Small Jr., welcome
Thanks,
to
Ken.
the show.
Nice to be here.
So, I haven't seen you in a couple of years.
Yep, about 3 or 4.
Yeah, what you been doing?
I've been traveling cross country, overseas, whatever, just photographing and drawing people.
Where overseas?
Japan. Just came back from Japan about a year or so ago, and Venezuela and Canada as usual, and Arizona and whatever.
And Dominican Republic?
Dominican Republic, yeah, and Puerto Rico, sorry. Right, yeah.
You even just
Well, yeah.
all over the place.
That was only for about a week, but yeah, I've been all over.
And what do you do in all those places?
I photograph and draw women for a living, and I'm doing a lot of commissions for people I met out there and some people I met in Japan. That's how I've been making my living for the past 3 or 4 years. That's what I do.
And now you used to do comics.
Yes, do comics like full-time, but now it's like part-time, if at all. I haven't done anything really for a couple years, but I have done a cover for Harris. I just did a cover for Harris, Vampirella.
Another Vampirella?
Right, another cover. With
I
the model I
suppose
have.
if anytime you want to do Vampirella cover, they'll let you do it, won't they?
I don't know. I was hoping, maybe not, because they have so many other new rising stars that maybe they don't need me anymore.
I mean, you think they've forgotten you in these last few years?
They might have. I don't see my name in print.
Nobody's going to forget Louis Small
Like
Jr.
the older guys. Well, when I come to the shows, I'm not forgotten, so that's a nice thing, yeah. And I have to reinvent myself, I guess.
And, do you have any comics coming up now that you're back?
I have an ash can and a sketchbook coming up right now, and a story of my own that I've been working on for about a year or so.
What's the story about?
Can't say.
We have the Jim Lee Batman piece that's just came out on Thursday from DC Direct. That's been selling like crazy. We brought at least 50 units. There's actually just one left, and it's autographed by Jim Lee himself. The Phoenix from this is actually Bowen. It's an exclusive from Best Comics. Nobody else carries it. We're gonna bring it to the Vegas Comic Con as well. This was actually 800 at one point. This is an actually artist proof, Randy Bowen. And it's a Super Chrome Colossus. Only 10 of them exist in the world. We got one of them. So Gentle Giants doesn't really sculpt. What they do is laser scan. It digitally scans and a machine cuts it, but then they have kind of sculptors work on the base itself. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, glasses come off. People love it, yeah. So it sells pretty well.
here's somebody who imports stuff all the way from across the Pacific Ocean, and your name is?
My name is Yusuf Chang. We're with Games and James here in New York City.
Do you have an orientation for specific types of anime that you like, or do you take everything?
Basically, it's everything. Obviously, we cater towards the more cutting-edge stuff. That's what people are looking for. Stuff that's not available here in the U.S. yet.
Are they with English subtitles or all in Japanese?
All of them have at least English subtitles. Some of them are dubbed as well.